Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Today's class will be focused on the glutes and the hamstrings, a little bit of core and hip flexors as well. You'll need a block for this practice or a rolled up towel or something you'll need later on. Start seated with feet flat on the ground, knees bent, and start to roll through the spine to lie down on your back. Now place one palm over your chest, one palm over your abdomen, and start to notice your natural breath pressing against the palms of your hands as those parts of the body expand, your chest and the belly. And then I want you to just focus on breathing into your chest and keeping your abdomen still, and notice how that feels. And then I want you to reverse that and breathe only into the abdomen with your chest being stable. And notice the difference in how these breath patterns work for you. And then just take a few of your natural breaths and release. And now press into your feet with feet and knees hip width apart. Go into neutral spine so you're not overarching or dropping the butt down. You're keeping your hips level and stable. If you need support, you can always bring the block underneath your low back towards the sacrum, or you can also place your palms underneath your hips with elbows in. Now here, start to lift the left knee up towards the sky, keeping a right angle at the hip and the knee as you lift it, and then go to the right side. And as you release, the feet to the floor, alternating which side you're doing, imagine that you're stepping on eggshells. That's how softly you want to step. So you lift the left knee and lower down ever so gently, and then the right knee up and down ever so gently. Left knee up to the sky again and down, and then right. And try to feel the difference with your glutes being completely engaged and your glutes disengaged. Continue to alternate the legs so you can really squeeze tight through the buttocks as the foot presses into the earth, and then try to let go of squeezing the glutes and really focus just on the hamstrings. Notice how that feels. Keep alternating left leg up and then the right. Each time the foot is lowering very, very gently onto the ground. Back to left side and lift right, lower down, and left leg up and back down. Keep squeezing through the inner thighs so you're not allowing the legs to splay out. Continuing to keep the hips level and stable. Still alternating the knees. And then left knee comes up and the left leg straightens as you start to pulse your hips up and back and up and back 10 times, really pushing into the right foot, engaging through the hamstrings. And then release the left leg forward with the left leg straight. Make the thighs parallel. You go up and back down, up and down. Lift the leg up to the sky and then back down and up and back down. So you're doing each of these 10 times. Really try to keep the knees straight, engaging through the quads and focusing on the hip flexors. And release the left leg and go to the other side. Push firmly into the left foot. Right knee lifts, right leg straight up to the sky. And start to pulse 10 times up and down. Just lifting above the hips and back level with the hips. Now right leg releases forward in line with the left and back up. Release down, inhale up. Exhale down, inhale up. 10 times. Up and down. Up and down. Inhale, lift. Exhale forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale forward, inhale up, and exhale down and release. Right foot to the floor, release the hips down, hug the knees into the chest, make 5 little circles, just massaging your sacrum, your low back, releasing. And then go to the other side, circling 5 times with the knees hugging in, hands on your knees. And slowly tuck in and roll up into a seated position. And we'll grab the block now for this exercise. So come onto hands and knees with your palms directly underneath your shoulders. Place your block or the rolled up towel behind your left knee. Your knees are directly under your hips. Squeeze that block between your calf and the thigh firmly so it doesn't come off. And then press your left leg behind you into hip extension, keeping your spine in neutral. And we'll bring the knee into the chest without rounding the spine. So just focusing on the hip flexor, and then extend the leg back up behind you with the foot pressing to the sky, squeezing the block. Knee to chest and back up 10 times. Knee to chest and back behind you. That's it. Really squeeze the block between the calf and the thigh. It might come off if you're not squeezing really tight. Don't worry, just keep repeating the movement, keeping the spine neutral, so not rounding the spine, not arching it in any way, keeping the neck in the same line as well. And keep going, knee to chest and back up. Now we start to pulse. Left foot pressing towards the ceiling, pulsing 10 times, and then make circles. 5 times out to the side. And then you'll reverse, making hip circles, outside in, 5 times. Still keeping the spine stable, and we'll repeat the same thing on the other side. So bring that block or towel behind the right knee, squeeze between the calf and the hamstring, and then squeeze knee to chest without rounding the spine, and then push the leg back behind you and up. And keep going, in and back, inhale in, exhale back. That's it. Keep the spine neutral, so don't arch or round. Keep going, knee in, and then back behind you, really squeezing the block, preventing it from falling off. So you'll feel the engagement in the posterior aspect of your thigh. Those hamstrings are firing up as we speak. Keep going. That's it. And now we start to pulse 10 times up and down. Just really creating this action from the hip. And now circles through the hip 5 times in one direction, still keeping that block nice and firm. That's it. And then after 5, reverse the direction. Go back and in. Very good. Slowly release. Move the block to the front of your mat and bring the palms around the edges of the block. Or if you want to make this more challenging, palms flat, with the block resting between the thumb and index finger. Going into dolphin position, hips high up to the sky. Pressing into your forearms, we start to bend the knees towards the floor, hovering the knees off the ground, just about an inch or 2, not touching the floor, and extending back through the legs. So we do this 10 times, extending through the knees, lifting the sitting bones, and bending the knees towards the floor. Really push through the forearms, through those palms, and keep bending and extending. And then go into downward facing dog for a gentle stretch. And then we release. Knees underneath the hips, hovering off the ground. And we go into donkey kicks without using any momentum. So you're gently lifting the left foot behind you with the knee bent and releasing it back, hovering the knees off the floor, so you're curled on the tippy toes. And we go into that donkey kick without the momentum, really just extending through the hip, keeping the knee at 90 degrees at all times. We'll do 10. Alternating the legs. Keep going. Just breathe. Don't worry about the count. I'm gonna let you know when to stop. Keep that spine neutral. So again, you're not arching the back as the leg goes behind you into that kick. And you're really keeping a nice tight abdomen and core. That's it. Keep alternating. I'll let you know when we're done. Push really strongly through the palms, through the fingertips, through all 10 knuckles, and we're done. We go into downward facing dog or child's pose immediately. I like to stretch it out in down dog. Now we go into plank position, rolling forward. Left leg extends straight behind you. Lift it up to the level of the hip and pulse it 10 times. Then you release that left foot down and do the same thing on the right side. You pulse 10 times with the right leg extended completely. And then we'll roll onto a side plank. Right forearm down, right elbow right underneath your right shoulder. Legs are stacked. Hips are lifted off the floor, and then lift the top leg off the ground and pulse it up and down 10 times, keeping the hips lifted off the ground the entire time. That's it. So lift it just slightly above the hip height and then towards the bottom foot. And then when you're done with 10, roll over to the other side. And lift and pulse up and down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That's it. Roll onto forearm plank, knees down, and roll through child's pose, pressing into the fingertips. Very good. Nice stretch. And now coming into a seated position. Do a little hamstring stretch here. So grab onto the left foot, the calf, or whatever you can reach. And then see if you can extend that left leg while you're holding onto the foot and bringing the thigh closer towards your chest, keeping the spine nice and straight. Release that leg and go to the other side. Again, either grab onto the foot, the ankle, the calf, whatever you can reach. Pull the leg in towards your chest without collapsing in the spine. Shoulders down away from the ears. Knees straight-ish if you can. And then release. Very good. Now we'll go into figure 4 stretch, lying down on our back. So bend the left knee into a little figure 4 position. Thread the needle so your left arm comes through as you grab onto the shin and you're drawing the knees to your chest. After a few breaths, switch sides. So right knee goes into figure 4 and you thread the needle with the right arm through, grabbing onto the shin, really pressing the knees into the chest, and slowly come out. We'll go into a hip flexor stretch. Left knee forward above the left ankle, and palms go onto the left thigh. As the spine rounds lightly, you're pressing the left thigh away from the body, tractioning and keeping the tailbone tucked under. And then slowly release that and extend through the left leg if you can, folding over it for a half split stretch. Half Hanumanasana or Ardha Hanumanasana. And then switch sides. So as stretch on the right. It's really the stretch is on the left, but the right foot comes forward. So we're focusing on the same action, tractioning the right thigh forward with the palms pushing into the right foot, curling the spine, really feeling the stretch in that left psoas this time. Good, and then release that, stretch through the right side, straightening through the right knee if possible, folding forward, and breathing here for a few. And slowly release that. Come into a seated position, and you're all done. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for practicing, and we'll see you next time.